Welcome into WFRV Plus Sports Night. I am Kyle Malzahn coming to you solo in the WFRV Plus studios. And we got a lot to talk about. I mean, today was somewhat of a busy day in the sports scene. We got some Packer moves. We have spring training starting. Pitchers and catchers reporting this afternoon. The Green Bay women, they fall in overtime, their first conference loss of the season. We'll get to all of that and more. Let's start with Luke Getsy. The Packers naming Luke Getsy their quarterback's coach after Sean Mannion recently left the organization to go become the offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Getsy's no stranger to Green Bay, right? I mean, he's been 3 different stints in Green Bay dating back to, I think, the early 2010s. So he obviously knows the culture. He was a quarterback's coach before. Last season, he was used as like a defensive consultant kind of specialty role. But now he's the quarterback's coach. And I don't know at this point in Jordan Love's career if he affects that much, right? Because Jordan Love has established himself. He's ran the offense. He's heading into year 4 already, which is crazy to think that it would be the 4th season with Jordan Love as the starting quarterback in Green Bay. But Luke Getsy, going to be the quarterback's coach in Titletown. I think this is mainly for whoever the Packers decide to ride with at the backup quarterback position, right? Because you're not going to bring back Malik Willis. I mean, Brian Gutekunst said it would be a dream at this point. Paraphrasing there. But they know he's going to get a starting job. He's not going to be back in Green Bay, or at least I'd be pretty shocked if he wasn't. I think a lot of people in the organization would just be as shocked if Malik Willis was on this roster come week 1 of the regular season. So this really, I guess, affects the backup quarterback more than anything as backup quarterbacks stand today as they develop into what they hope become a starting quarterback. You believe it's going to be Desmond Ridder, a journeyman guy at this point who's had a lot of expectations or hype around him, hasn't really all put it all together, kind of like Malik Willis, right? Packers kind of taking the same track that they did with Malik Willis with Desmond Ridder, and hopefully Luke Getsy comes in and makes sure things are right with him. So some Packer news right there. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk spring training. And then we're going to talk Green Bay women's basketball. They fall in overtime. There's a lot to discuss there. That and more coming up next on WFRV Plus Sports Night. Welcome back into WFRV Plus Sports Night. I am Kyle Malzahn. Pleased to be joined by y'all. We're going to be talking spring training. Yes, baseball season is back, folks. I can't wait. Look, I think I said it before a few weeks ago, if it wasn't last week. Baseball is my favorite sport. There's just nothing like it. And I get a lot of people think it's a boring sport, which I don't blame you, right? But if you're a baseball purist, there is nothing like it. There is, like, baseball is so much different than basketball and football. We just saw the Super Bowl, right? How anticlimactic was that ending? You're just waiting for the clock to run down. Clock stops. In baseball, you have to earn all 27 outs. You gotta earn all 27 outs, and that's what makes the sport so exciting. Nothing's given. You can't just work around. No, you got to get all 27 outs. The Brewers reported to spring training today down south, and this is an exciting time. Look, I get it. If you're a Brewers fan and you're confused about the direction they're going, right? You trade Caleb Durbin. You trade Andrew Monasterio. Oh, yeah, by the way, you also trade your ace pitcher, Freddie Peralta. But at this point, should we question what the Brewers do? Because the pitchers that they got back in that trade with Caleb Durbin, I bet they're going to be studs. The Brewers know what they're doing. Now, I was as shocked as anybody. When it came to the Brewers moving Caleb Durbin. He was a finalist for the NL Rookie of the Year. They actually traded their all-star. Yeah, they traded their all-star closer, Devin Williams, to get Caleb Durbin in that trade. You had 6 years of control with Caleb Durbin, but they ship him off. And I think they wouldn't have done that move, obviously, if they kept Freddie Peralta. They had to get some arms. You have Jet Williams, who's ready to play, and they're going to roll the dice with Jet Williams. I don't know if they'll regret the trade, but at this point, I'm not betting against the Brewers and what they do. All right. The Brewers play their first game in a week from now. In a week from now, they play their first spring training game. There was also some roster moves today. Brewers reuniting with old friend Gary Sanchez. Played 89 games, I believe, for him with the Brewers back in 2024. It's a 1-year, $1.75 million contract. Is what it is. Hopefully he comes in to the organization, give William Contreras a few days off. He could provide some power, maybe some DHing in there. It's a fly in the wall, like, right? It's like a fly in the wall signing. Like, little risk, somewhat of a high reward. If he can give you 18 homers in a pinch hit, DH, backup catcher role, like, I don't know. You get 10 homers, double digits, I think you feel pretty good about the signing, as long as he can stay healthy. I woke up this morning, and this is how my mornings go. Not that you guys really care. Sit down on the couch, flip on the television. Usually my alarm clock goes off around like 9 o'clock. Get up, turn on Local 5 Live. Then I watch Price is Right. If I'm just being a couch potato, early morning, slow start. So I got Local 5 Live on. I got Price is Right. Then I turn over to MLB Network, and I turn on MLB Network, and Bryce Terang's on there talking about spring training and, of course, the World Baseball Classic. If you have never watched the World Baseball Classic before, you need to this year. You need to this year watch the World Baseball Classic. It is the Olympics for baseball, and it is one of the most amazing things if you're a baseball fan, because you have all these players representing their countries and competing. And if you love the Olympics that are going on right now, great. And if you're a baseball fan, turn on the World Baseball Classic. All right, I'm going to bring this up. The Brewers are having representation all throughout the World Baseball Classic. They have 14 players, if my memory serves me right, across the World Baseball Classic. Only one of them, though, for Team USA, and it's Bryce Terang. So he's going to be your lone Brewer on Team USA, trying to win their first trophy, Team USA is, since 2017. Since 2017. They lost in 2023 in the finals to Japan. It was Ohtani versus Trout, if you remember. I think I got that right. All right, here we go. So the Brewers will have, I just said Bryce Terang for the United States. You have Tyler Black for Canada, along with Rob Zastryzny. Abner Uribe, going to represent the Dominican Republic. And these aren't just subject to the 40-man roster in baseball. This is throughout the organization. Great Britain will get Miles Langhorne and Jack Seppings. Italy is going to get Andrew Fisher. If you don't know Andrew Fisher's name, I'm sure you will in a few years. 21 years old, out of Tennessee, I believe, was an Ole Miss Rebel, playing for my hotty-toddy, gosh almighty Ole Miss Rebels. It was the Brewers' first-round draft pick in 2025, ranked as MLB's top third base prospect. He spent the last half of last season in the minor leagues with your Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, so you guys might be familiar with him. Across 19 games with the Rattlers, he had over 300, over a 400 on-base percentage, and slugged .446. With a homer, triple, 5 doubles, 10 RBI, 8 runs, 8 steals. They're going to be high on Andrew Fisher. So he's going to be competing for Italy. Then you got Joey Ortiz. Hopefully Brewers fans can see him hit the ball this year. Joey Ortiz playing for Mexico. Joey Ortiz, 27 years old. Struggled, though. Struggled. Got to get better. Got to get better. The 3 players on Nicaragua. And then Jackson Churio, William Contreras, and Angel Zerpa for Venezuela. That's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. So the World Baseball Classic will take place, I think the first games start March 5th. So if you guys have never watched the World Baseball Classic or don't know what it is, your favorite Brewers and favorite players across Major League Baseball, at spring training, they start with their teams, and then about 2.5 weeks in, they go out with their countries. So Bryce Durang will be in camp. He's already there. Saw him on MLB Network. But he will join Team USA. And Team USA is loaded, by the way. Let me bring up the Team USA. And this is why I think you have to watch it, because it's so easy to root for the young talent in Major League Baseball, but it's hard when your favorite team's playing against them. And right now, you can also cheer for them, right? In the World Baseball Classic. All right. Let's look at this roster. Let's look at this roster for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Got to come more prepared. All righty. The World Baseball Classic. Almost there, folks. Almost there. World Baseball Classic roster. Here we go. Fat fingers. All right. All right. All right, here we go. Your starting pitchers: Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, Logan Webb, Matthew Boyd, Joe Ryan. You got, Corbin Carroll, but he just got injured and he's going to be out for the whole entire tournament and might not make opening day roster. So Corbin Carroll's not out of it, or he's not playing. He's out of it. You got Byron Buxton in center. You got Aaron Judge as the captain in right. You got Cal Raleigh behind the plate. You got Schwarber as your DH. You got Harper at first. You got Gunnar Henderson at second. Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. You got Alex Bregman, the newcomer on the Chicago Cubs, on the corner at third. On the hot corner at third. And this is your bench. Bryce Durang, Will Smith behind the plate, Paul Goldschmidt, newest Yankee. Yes, that sounds right. Newest Yankee, Paul Goldschmidt, first base. Pete Crow Armstrong, one of the bright young stars in Major League Baseball, center field on the bench, and Ernie Clement on the bench as well. And then you got Clayton Kershaw in the bullpen. You got Brad Keller in the bullpen. Yeah, Clevenger. You got Bernard. So you got dudes. I'm not saying this is a make or break type of roster. You don't have Mike Trout. Obviously, he's been injured for quite some time now, but it's a decent roster. And you're probably the more talented team. But here's the thing. Japan has Shohei Ohtani. And when you have Shohei Ohtani, good things happen. I really hope it's USA and Japan once again in the championship. Makes things so interesting when you have the stars that you watch, right, going head to head. This is the first tournament since 2023. All right. World Baseball Classic. Baseball's here. We're going to be talking a lot more baseball. All right, we're going to take a break and then talk Green Bay women's basketball on the other side, folks. Welcome back into WFRV Plus Sports Night. Kyle Malzahn riding solo as we wrap up tonight's show, and the Green Bay women fall. It's their first conference loss of the year. They did not go down without a fight. Took them to overtime, but it was a 78 defeat. Let me pull up the final score here. But the Green Bay women, actually 83-82 in overtime to Cleveland State on the road. Green Bay had two great looks in regulation and in OT for a game winner. They just couldn't make it. Which last week they made two. Last week they made two game winners. Tonight, no cigar. No cigar. It's their first conference loss. Get this. Since December 7th, 2024. It's 2026. It is 2026. The Green Bay women, all they have done for the last calendar year is beat their conference opponents and win. So the record now, though, perfect no more. 20-6 overall, 15-1. And if you had not heard, they at least have clinched a share in the with the Horizon League regular season title. Not that it really matters, right? But they will be the number one seed in the Horizon League title. So if you're a Green Bay women's basketball fan and you go to the Crest Center, you're going to see them at home once again in the Horizon League conference tournament when that gets underway. The Green Bay women before tonight's game won 36 straight games against conference foes. 36. Pretty sure Doug Gottlieb's team last year only had 2 conference wins. And the Green Bay women rattled off 36 in a row. But all good things must come to an end. And I think this will be good in the long run, right, for this team. Look, I think the last 2 games were going to be good for Green Bay. They battled adversity. They were down 19-2 in the first quarter. After the first quarter, they were down 19-2. They found a way to win that game off of Jenna Geyer's heroics, 8-0 run. And then the Cammie Pepler game against Robert Morris, where she hits the game winner at the buzzer, darn near at the half-court line. But they go through a little adversity here. We'll see how they come out on the other side. If I know one thing about that program, they'll be fine. Don't be sweating. It's what happens. You can't win every game. And they didn't go down without a fight. Green Bay men, they will be at home tomorrow. And get this, the Green Bay men, they will be at home playing on ESPN2. They're on a national broadcast for the first time at home on national TV since 2020 against Purdue Fort Wayne tomorrow at the Crest Event Center. Oh, and if you're a GB alum, you know what I'm talking about. It's Crash the Crest. This program needs student support. They need it. Oh, you don't want to go to the Rest Center? Too bad. They're playing at the Crest now. They're only playing 3 at the Rest Center. But the whole problem with Green Bay and the fan support, and I was a victim of this too. I didn't show up and support as much as I should have when I was an alum, when I was in school. Now I was working on the broadcast, but when I had off, I didn't go. I was working here. But that's an excuse. That's an excuse. It's a commuter school. I get it. It's a good basketball team right now. Doug Gottlieb. They won 5 in a row. They lose 5 in a row. And now they're on a 2-game win streak. 6 o'clock tomorrow against the Purdue Fort Wayne, excuse me. We'll see what Green Bay team comes out. They're in the thick of it still. They are in the thick of it. Let's pull up GB's standings right now. They're 2.5 games out of first place, the top spot, with 5 games remaining. We're going to need some luck, but it all starts tomorrow at the Crest Event Center, 6 o'clock against Purdue Fort Wayne. But until then, thanks so much for watching WFRV Plus Sports Night. Hope you all have a great night.